Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is team news time. No idea why I did that, just thought it'd be funny. It's Liverpool versus Manchester City. We'll get it on the way in less than half an hour. The team news is out. I'm going to go straight into it. Alisson Becker, birthday boy yesterday, is in goal. Left back, Andy Robertson. Van Dijk and Matip, that solid partnership that we've seen so far this season. At centre-back, Jimmy Milner at right-back, which we'll come on to in a second. Fabinho, Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson in midfield. And a front three of Mane, Jota and Mohamed Salah. The bench, Queven Kelleher, Konate, Joe Gomez, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Kostas Tsimikas, Naby Keita, Takumi Minamino, Bobby Firmino and Nico Williams. Lots of discussion points. Me and Errol will get to some of them in a minute, but I'm just going to mention one or two of them now. Right back, I think Milner, we all kind of expected. There was a toss-up between, I think it was him, maybe young Nico, I think was touted to go in there. Some people said Oxlade-Chamberlain, just no, or even Jordan Henderson. So good to see him there. I'm feeling with a bit more confidence, to be honest. I saw his name. Was it Crystal Palace, the game we did? And I kind of winced a bit and thought Milner versus Zaha, I don't really fancy that. But as I mentioned at the time, it's not just Milner up against Zaha. You know, he's going to need some support from Joel Matip. Fabinho's going to help in there as well. And hopefully Jordan Henderson will get back for the likes of Foden, Grealish and whoever's down that left-hand side. We'll do the Man City team in a second. Midfield, Curtis Jones. I think everybody wanted him to keep his place after his terrific performance against Porto. I think well-deserved. A little bit of debate over whether we should go 4-2-3-1 and play the front four, as it were, but we haven't done. And then the final bit was either Jota or Bobby Firmino. Obviously, Bobby comes on, scores 2 goals against Porto. That's great. But I think Jota's runs in behind the defence and kind of causing a few issues between the centre-backs, getting runs in behind here to come and help out Sadio Mane, and down here for Salah as well. I think he's going to be vitally important for Liverpool. But I am very, very excited. I'm going to throw you over to Errol now. Errol, what's your initial thoughts on that team?
Do you know what, mate? I'm quite happy with that, if I'm completely honest with you. I think the front three is probably our paciest front three that we've got to throw at this City side, to be honest. I don't know if it was in the PSG game the other day when one of their lads came out after the match. I don't know if it was like Guanagay or whatever his name was, who scored.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, it wasn't hard to beat them because they had no pace. So if that's the kind of key to success and how you beat this City side, I think Jota, Mane and Salah probably are our paciest options. I know Fabinho's got that great link-up play that he does sometimes with the front three, but having him to come on off the bench is also a really good option for us, really, because I know he might be able to unlock their defence, hopefully, if we need him. No surprise with James Milner there. You know, he's the safe option. Do you know what I mean? I think I seen one of your classic memes the other day where Klopp's just like, we need someone, and just there's a glass there, just throw James Milner over it, and you're sorted. So I'm more than happy with that as well.
But are you the same as the Crystal Palace? Because we did the Crystal Palace game and we both kind of went, oh, don't really fancy that, but he's shown that he's more than capable. I know this might come back to bite him in the arse. No, Manchester City have got a decent side, but my perception of him being at right back isn't what it was even kind of 3 weeks ago.
Well, no, it's still there, and there'll still be those doubts. But all he can do is put in another solid performance. I think people will be saying in the comments there we're going to miss Trent in this game and stuff. But when Milner's come on, not only has he provided assists, which is pretty much what Trent does from that area as well at the pitch, he's also been very instrumental in terms of how we've attacked. So even though it's not the same kind of intensity or the same style, and probably what we're used to on the eye in terms of how sometimes effortless it looks for Trent to go forward, it's still really an important position that Klopp just wants that strength. I don't think he would have chose to go Gomez. I think in the midweek game he brought Gomez on, and I think that was more of we don't need to be bombing down the wings at this point. We've kind of got the game sewn up and it's to bed. Let's just get some minutes in Joe Gomez's legs, and let's just kind of reserve what we've got and be a little bit more conservative.
We also played James Milner bingo in that game.
Yes.
Yellow card bingo. I don't think he ended up getting one, did he?
No, he didn't.
Do you think he's going to get one tonight?
Well, you'll have to tell me if the Man City, is it Grealish on his side?
Joining the Man City
side.
I
think this is a good time to go.
It's up on your screen now. So Edison, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Bernardo, and then Gabriel Jesus, Grealish and Foden.
Yeah. So Grealish is likely to be up on that side against James Milner, then one of the most fouled players in the Prem. There's a good chance that he will, but it's one of them things. It's how many of those kind of innocuous fouls does he give away where he's like, come on, ref, that was not, and that he's diving, he's a pretty boy, all that kind of shithousery and getting into the ref's ear. how close can he walk that line before he steps over it and then he is on the trouble side.
But it's also that balance of letting him know that you're there, and he's not going to get passionate in that sense as well, but he'll get support from others. Do let us know your thoughts on the team so far and the Manchester City side. I've got 2 super chats here. Thank you very much. Jack Richardson, £5. Thank you. I was thinking Bobby would start, but still confident today. I've been drinking since 11:30, so I'm drunkenly positive mindset. That's a good mindset.
Have a bevy for us, lads. Love that.
I'll have a juice for you. I suppose Bobby can probably feel hard done by, but in that sense of, I think it's still good to bring him off the bench. Like, he showed what he's capable of Porto. I mentioned there was debate whether we should go 4-2-3-1 and just spunk our load and go for all 4 of them. But my concern with that is, if you play your front 4, as it were, and it doesn't work,
what have you got?
And there's obviously no Divock Origi on the bench there, so you're relying on an Ox to change your game or have an impact, or Takumi Minamino to kind of do something. You get the benefits of both. You've got Jota harrying, running in behind, as I mentioned before, being a pain in the arse with Ruben Diaz and Laporte, and if they're knackered and going, fucking hell, you've been trying to keep an eye on him, and then you bring your Bobby Firmino on, to go for Liverpool.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's it's probably the safest bet as well for us, as you said there. The bench at the moment is probably not the strongest that we could have in terms of the attacking powers that we've got. So leaving a little bit in reserves there, really, just so we don't actually just blow our load straight away, I think is probably a good option for us to have. And I think, tired legs, Bobby has got enough pace with tired legs in that City defence, and he can knit things really neatly, and he's brilliant with that link-up play. So that might come good in the last 20-30 minutes if we really need that type of approach. But if it's just to take the game away, I'd love to still throw four on there, 70 minutes, and just say, right, let's just take this game away from them. We're 2-0 up, let's just try and get that third, and let's not try and shut up shop, and let's just keep attacking the City team to the 95th minute if that's what needs to be done.
I'm up for a bit of that. Josh Owen, another £5 super chat, says, congrats on the baby, Errol. Would love Curtis Screamer today. Milner right back offers more than leadership and experience in big games. First of all, congratulations again on the baby. Nice. It's still coming. The Curtis Jones stuff is interesting, because again, the 4-2-3-1 would lead to Curtis Jones not playing in that side, but I think he's done more than enough. He was obviously man of the match against Porto. Klopp came out afterwards and said he was sick. I mean, like, he was physically sick, not just sick. He was both. I'm never doing that again. I'm really sorry. But he was like, I find it hard as a 20-year-old lad. He's come on, he's completely ran that game. You telling him that he's not starting this game, but also I mentioned on the build-up show, this is another test for him. So it's fine doing it against Porto, and that's no disregard to Porto, and he's done it against the Carabao Cup games. He's always turned up in them. Obviously, he's screamer against Everton. This Man City is another level for him. So it should be, if you perform in this game, you're doing yourself massive favours if you can outperform in this. It's
reminiscent of Harvey Elliott in the Chelsea game for me, in the sense that when Harvey was given that chance and Klopp put that faith in him, it was like, if you perform well in this game, you've now set the bar of how not only the fans are expecting you to play, but Klopp's put that amount of trust in you. He's expecting you to continually put in that level of effort and application going forward now, no matter who the opponent is, because Chelsea at the time, everyone's got them down as title challengers. They're going to be one of the toughest oppositions we had played to that point in time. And he came out smelling the roses because he did himself a really good job on that day. So again, it's kind of similar vibes. And what makes this a little bit more interesting from my perspective is it's got that, not necessarily that battle, but we've got Curtis Jones there, who's been playing for the England under 23s or something like that he's been playing for. He hasn't had a full call up yet to the main squad. We've had Phil Foden, he's just come off a European Championship. Now, I want to see, how far off are you from this kid? Because everyone hypes up how great Phil Foden is, and he's a quality player, by the way. Like, I really like watching him play. He's very good. But I'm very adamant that Curtis Jones, in my humble opinion, isn't that far off. These are the type of games that you want to test yourself in. Do you know what I mean? You can remember, you'd have a young Lampard up against a young Gerrard, and you want to see who comes out on top in those moments. And this is how you kind of create that added little bit of rivalry, because you've got 2 young prospects that are going to be hopefully over the next 10 years vying for a position in the international squad somewhere down the line. So it's a huge day for him, but like anything, he's got that Anfield crowd behind him to give him that backing. And you see some of the shrinking violets from the City team in games past that will shrink in that atmosphere it does the complete opposite for our lads. It makes our lads puff our chests out a bit more. We feel 10 times taller. So I'm really looking forward to just seeing how he just goes about playing his game as well.
Yeah, it's really important. I'll come on to that in a second, actually. Another £5 from Trig Josh. Hello, thank you very much. Was it a no on the matching shell suits and the calm down then? We're not matching today, are we? But you are sporting our back in stock Crew Redmen brushstroke t-shirt available at redmenmerch.com. Tom will put the link in the description and in the live chat if you're so kind to do so. Lots of love for you in the comments here. Usman Hamid said Errol is quality, even more. Someone else called you a legend before as well.
Yes, these are all legends, Redmen legends, man.
Yeah. Oh, something's Jamie Vardy's down in there. Oh, it's 2-2.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say this because you asked me my reaction just as they scored, and I was like, do I react to this or do I just stay on job? And I stayed on job. So, yeah,
two more important things I want to get through.
That's Leicester City, by the way.
Yeah,
not
I've got the league table up here. And we mentioned it before.
Which one? The Champions League group? We're top of that as well, or
we're not currently top of the Premier League table
anymore.
Not anymore. But Chelsea first, 16 points. Liverpool second, 14 points. Man United, Everton, Brighton, all on 14, and Manchester City there on 13.
And it's probably worth a mention. Brentford there as well, just underneath City.
Good side, Brentford.
Doing well. He was winning as well up until about 5 minutes ago.
No, it's still 1-0.
Still 1-0.
But I think the importance of this game isn't just because of it's Liverpool versus Manchester City. It's Liverpool versus Manchester City with a chance to build a gap against Manchester City. Manchester City will be on 13 points. Would have lost 2 games in the league. You go into an international break. This game will determine my mood for the international break.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go into the international break in a really good mood.
I hate it as it is. I don't want to go in and go off.
Well, we come back and it's not long before we end up playing Man U, so there's going to be a few big games off the back of the international break. So to go in there with a head of steam and the opportunity to make ground on City, and then when we come back, make ground on the likes of Man U as well. If we put them to bed, it'd be fantastic. We want to cement. I know we want to cement every single month with good wins, but like in terms of just, it's like a mini period. I think Klopp does that quite often in terms of how he breaks down his season. And he might have said, all right, well, the first international break, that's like your halfway point, and then the second one, that's a mini series and season boxed off. Let's see how many points we can get. I think there was a possible 21 up for grabs. If we can end up with will we end up at 17? If we win
maths
today, 17, too bad. But we could end up at 17 points, and it's a better total. Not only would we have 17 points, we still are as it stands, but we would go into the international break as the only team that is still unbeaten so far. So that's got to give a lot of confidence to the lads when they come back. So hopefully, we go in, we get the 3 points today, we have a good international break, all the lads come back fresh and fit. Some lads that are currently out injured get a few more weeks to recover, and then we've got a more strengthened squad to go again when the new second part of the season starts.
And it's important for confidence and momentum as well, was something that I mentioned the other day. Someone says, why is Bobby Firmino not starting? He's on the bench. I'll go through the team again in a second. I think Tom's pinned it in the comments. Scott Hawks, you absolute hero and absolute legend, $25. More excited than nervous, so intrigued and see Curtis what he'll do against De Bruyne and the rest. Hoping for Mo's stamp on this name across this game. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, let us know how you're feeling ahead of this game as well. Me and Errol were kind of talking. It's like
nervous,
excited, sick, a mix of all of that.
It'd be great to just make a statement today. Yeah. Like, I know the Porto was a great result, but I think as Liverpool fans in the last couple of years, we've got used to knowing we've got too much for any Porto side, whatever they can throw against us. So 5-1s always look like a great win, but in context, going up against the City side and really making a statement, even if it is at home, that's where we should be making most of our statements as far as I'm concerned. Make Anfield a fortress and make it really difficult for teams to beat us. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the big statements you want to make. So City, there's no better audition to say that we could be title contenders, challengers, if we get a good result today.
And also making this home watch longer fortress as well, because we're doing all right so far, aren't we?
Yeah, unbeaten, baby.
But as you mentioned that, and you mentioned it before, the importance of the Liverpool crowd. Now, someone mentioned before, like the Chelsea game was like it was loud and whatever else, but like it was kind of like, okay, sound. I think the game kind of got away from that because it was 1-1 and it was like, it was more frustration than anything else. Whereas this feels like not a boiling point as in like an aggression sense, but a boiling point with the fans of going, like, we'll be at City's throat. So you mentioned before, every time they played against Liverpool before, it's interesting that Sterling's not surprising that Sterling's not started, because every time that he does, we're straight on him, and that's like an impetus, like Suarez against Barcelona, for the crowd to get up. I think the crowd can play a massive role in the outcome of this game. Someone asked before, where's going to be won and lost? Is it individual error, possibly, or a certain player? But I think a lot of it might be to do with our crowd today.
Well, yeah, and not only that, I think, we had a few individual mistakes last time we played City and we got beat. We got humbled by them. I think it was a close game until they just took it away from us, and we did have.
Was that when we were all hungover? We just won the league.
Yeah. No. It was the 4-1. It was last season.
Oh, well,
where I think Alisson had a bit of a boo-boo on the day, but I think there'll be those players that want to write those things. They'll still live in that. Do you know what I mean? They'll still have those emotions, feeling like, how shit did that feel when I fucked up in front of there was no fans there to kind of, not high behind, but there was no fans there to kind of G us up. I want to put it right this time round, and especially with the fans, they kind of just feed. We say it every single time, but it is. They live and they feed off that energy. And it just galvanises the way that we try to play football. And I think the one big difference in terms of City and Chelsea is Chelsea historically will come to Anfield and look to be a little bit more conservative and try and play through us, be a little bit more direct and try and just score, and whatever, if they score first, we'll take what we've got and we'll sit back a little bit. Now I know the 10 men changed the dynamic of that slightly, but they was never going to match us, get blow for blow. Us and City, when we're at Anfield, City just get drawn into playing that way. Is whatever tactic Pep gives them out to do, it goes out the window because they just get drawn into the fans want that. And then all of a sudden it becomes a basketball match, and I think that's when it suits us the most.
Do you think that's what's going to pan out in the first 15 minutes? Because someone said, is it going to be end to end, or is it going to be just like no one wants to make a mistake for the first 15 minutes and then we'll go?
Because these lads are good enough to know even if they make a mistake, there'll be other opportunities for them to put it right within the same match. So I think City will be brave enough to want to show that they're capable of going to Anfield, and even if there is a crowd, we're still able to play. They're not going to want to come out, because think about it this way, Ross. If City come out and start playing within themselves and we're on top and then the crowd are on the back,
go for throat.
Exactly. Yeah. And how soon is it before they can't then play up to their standard? Their best option is playing the way that they can naturally play, feeling the way into the game, and hope for that they catch us before we catch them. And if it doesn't happen, then it is just going to be a basketball game to see who draws blood first.
Score prediction?
3-0. Oh no, I don't know. I'll go for 3-1. I said it before. We've been scoring 3 goals for fun, so I reckon we will still carve them open 3 times today. But I still think that they will see the back of the net as well at least once.
I'm going to get 1-0. 1-0. Joe Matip. I think that was my prediction on the build-up show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether that's my prediction or I just want a 1-0. I just want the 3 points. I don't care. Just anything.
Just dangle your arms.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Some point that's going to come off. I see Ozan Kabak tried that yesterday for Norwich and ended up winning the free kick. Keep your score predictions coming. Let us know how you're feeling ahead of the game. We're going to be back at 4:15 for some alternative commentary. We're going to do a couple more 5-10 minutes on build-up and get your thoughts and stuff like that. So keep your comments coming on the show. As I said, we'll be back in less than half an hour now. So get yourself ready for the big game at Liverpool versus Manchester City. We'll see you shortly. Ta-ra.
Thanks so much for checking out the show this week. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, then do. But if you want more from us, extra Redmen shows, then go to the redmentv.com. You can support the channel at 2 levels, by Club Captain or Club Legend tier. Both get you a full suite of Liverpool-related content, extra Redmen shows, documentaries, features, and world-exclusive interviews. And Club Legends get their names here and on the end of those videos, and free merchandise as well. Perfect time to sign up on the redmentv.com.